Hi, Mandy. Hi. Sorry I'm late. Just caught up with another student, of course. All right, let me go see. I got to put your information in, so don't move. Where's that? End of the semester, everyone needs more help. Let's see here. Where are you? What's your ID number? There you are. Okay. 068. What class are you here for today? Tessel. Why did this not happen? I did this wrong. Okay. I don't have time to make mistakes. All right. 068, 068, 063. Tessel. Okay. 343. I do drafting. All right, that's that. I'm going to go open your papers here. Going to get rid of this one.
That's what you just
said. Uh-oh. Damn. I don't know. Ask her anyhow. Ask her anyhow. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Okay. If you can't, if she says no, absolutely not, we're going to finish the paper on Wednesday, and then we'll figure out what to do about the.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Oh my God. What happened to your paper? What did I do with it? Dang. I might have accidentally deleted your paper. Hang on a minute. Yeah, maybe, because I have the, what do I have here? I've got the, what do I, yes, share it again. What do I have here? I was distracted. I have Mandy's self and peer review. That's the one I do have. That's the one I need? Okay. Okay, let me go back. I'm going back. That's the one I need, though. Why don't you see me? Okay, I'm here. I see you. Why don't you see me? No, I'm here. Okay, I see you too. All right, fine, we're good. All right, so we're on reliability? No, where are we? Where are we? Okay, hang on a second. Okay, hold it. Reliability, content validity, washback, and now we're on practicality. We still have authenticity. Am I in the right thing? Is this okay? So you see where I am. You said practicality, right? Okay. All right. Yes, we have to be careful because it's difficult. Don't want to be in the wrong thing. Okay, my assessments earned a 3 out of 5 for practicality because my assessments earned because I think I just say they because we don't need this again. My assessments earned a 3 out of 5 practicality because we don't need that. Many assessments because they didn't say how much time I would, because they didn't say how much time I would give the students when they How much time? We're not going to say would. I was going to give the student, because they didn't say how much time I was going to give the students when they were doing the assignments needed for the assessment during the lesson plan. So the lesson plan didn't say it, right? The students. But it's your lesson plan that didn't say how much time. Okay. Can we say, see where my cursor is? Because my lesson plan didn't say how much time? Because you've got it here, down here, and I don't think it works there. Can we say my lesson plan? Someone's chopping. Okay, because my lesson plan didn't say, now we'll get rid of the they. My assessments earned a 3 out of 5 for practicality because my lesson plan didn't say how much time I was going to give the students when they were doing the assignments needed for the assessment? The assignments needed for the assessment? Yeah? Okay, so we'll put a period there, and then we'll get rid of this thing. Okay, so that makes sense. Yes? Okay. The administrative details will be clearly established before the assessment, and examples will be provided. You want to say next time or no? Or no? Right here? Yeah, I don't know. The next time you set, like, are you saying what you're going to do better in the future? Or no? In the future, the administrative details, is this like, okay, you're only giving yourself a 3 out of 5, but maybe next time the administrative details will be established before the assessment. Is that what you mean? Okay, in the future, I will, because you can use I, make sure the administrative details will be clearly established before the assessment and examples will be provided for students, okay? Okay. Students are able to complete the test reasonably. Students, and this is the future, right? Students will, right? Is that correct? Students will then be able to complete the test reasonably within the set time frame, and students will be given more time to complete the assignments until the teacher is done assessing everyone in the class, correct? The cost of this test is free and the items will be provided by the teacher or test administrator. Since all of the test materials are provided by the teacher and printed in the school, that's a sentence fragment. The cost of this test is free and the items will be provided. I think, do you want to make this all one sentence? Is that how it works? Like this? Okay. The cost of this test is free and the items will be provided by the teacher or test administrator. No. The cost of this test is free and the items will be provided by the teacher or test administrator. Since all of the test materials are provided by the teacher and printed in school, seems kind of repetitive. The cost of the test is free and the items will be provided by the teacher need a since in here. The cost of this test is free. Let's see if this works. Since the items will be provided by the teacher or school administrator, oh yeah, like this. The cost of this test is free since the items will be provided by the teacher or school since the test materials? Yeah. No. That's wrong. See if this is right. The cost of this test is free since the test materials will be provided by the teacher or school administrator and printed in the school. Or do you need the word, do you need items? Does that make sense or no? Okay. Will be provided by the teacher or test administrator and printed in the school. The scoring or evaluation system is feasible and within the teacher's time frame, since it will be during the time the teacher is working with, maybe? With the students during the shopping scenarios. Is that right? Okay. Since the scoring evaluation system is feasible and within the teacher's time frame, since it will be during the time the teacher is working with the students. Yep, that's fine. The assessments will be graded during, just have too many of those here. The assessments will be graded during the shopping scenarios with the teacher and with the teacher and with, no, all right, and classmates. With teacher and classmates. Oh, yes. With the teacher. Questions about the assignments needed for the assessments will be answered when the teacher is walking around the classroom. The methods for reporting results are determined in advance because the teacher will remind students. Methods for reporting results are determined in advance because the teacher will remind students how their grades will, I think you need B? I don't know. Because the teacher will remind students how their grades, because the teacher will remind students that, not how, that their grades will be given back to them the week before, and you don't want the during, and the week before and the week. The methods for reporting results are determined in advance because the teacher will remind students that their grades will be given back to them. Their grades will be given to them. You don't need the back. The methods for reporting results are determined in advance because the teacher will remind students. Hang on. The methods for reporting results are determined in advance because the teacher will remind students that their grades will be given to them the week before and back to them the week before and the week. Maybe you do need during. Week before and we'll put during the week of the assessment. Students' grades. I think you want it's more than one student, right? Put that apostrophe after the S. Students' grades will be given back. Will be given. You don't need the back. Be given to them after every one of the class is done being assessed by the teacher. Okay? That seems all right? Okay, moving on to authenticity. My assessments earned a 5 out of 5 for authenticity because I mentioned everything in the checklist for authenticity. Okay. When you say everything, what do you mean? Okay. Can we just say because I answered all the questions in the checklist for authenticity? Instead of mentioned? Yeah, because I mentioned, all right, so let's say answered. Let's do that. Because I answered all the questions. Is that correct? Okay. The language I used, I think you need a D. Maybe it's not. The language I used in my assessment is as natural. No, the language I use in my assessment is as natural. So you mean as conversational? When you say natural? Okay. Okay, we'll use that word then. It's as natural as possible. The items I used. Interesting. Put the D back. The items I used in my assessment are contextualized and not isolated at all. That's because the items in my assessment are created to test students' reciprocal target language use when they are shopping for items in the store. Okay. I'm going to say have been. Have been. Created to test students' reciprocal target language use when they are shopping for. The topics and situations mentioned in this assessment are interesting and enjoyable. In the first scenario, no, let's start with the. The first scenario, was where one of the students. The first scenario looked at. First scenario looked at. I don't think. So you want the where? It's a place, not how, huh? The first scenario looked at where or how? I think so too. How one of the students, we're going to say would. The first scenario looked at how one of the students would make a purchase. The second scenario, we're going to do looked at again. Looked at how another student, I'm just going to make these the same, would make a return. The last scenario, okay, not last scenario, looked at how another student would ask if an item is available in their size or a different color. Okay. The last scenario looked at how another student would ask if an item is available in their size. All right. Since the scenarios I have in the lesson plan on day 3 are scenarios students will experience when they are shopping. This is a fragment again. Let's get rid of since and just start because the since makes it a fragment. The scenarios I have in the lesson plan on day 3 are scenarios students will experience when they are shopping for clothes and shoes. The books I mentioned in my assessment are about social skills and the fill in the blank. The books I mentioned in my assessment are about social skills, and we'll put a comma there. And the fill in the blank worksheet follows a story of how people, not students, not children, people, like any old people. Okay. So it's any people, it's not students. Okay, and the fill in the blank workshop sheet I used follows a story of how people let's do would again. Let's do shop. Let's look at this again. The books I mentioned in my assessment are about social skills. And the fill in the blank worksheet I used follows a story of how people would shop in a store. The conversation, is it just one conversations or conversations? Okay, hang on. People would shop in a store. The conversations. Okay, all right, let's conversations they would have when shopping for an item and the type of payment they would use. It's got to be use. All right, does that make sense? The books I mentioned in my assessment are about social skills, and the fill in the blank worksheet I used follows a story of how people would shop in a store, the conversations they would have when shopping for an item, and the type of payment they would use, okay? The tasks in this assessment represent and are similar to real-world tasks since students are acting out shopping scenarios with their classmates and teacher. Represent and are similar to. Let's put commas in here and are similar to. Tasks in this assessment represent and are similar to real-world tasks since students are acting out shopping scenarios with their classmates. Students get to act as the salesperson, customer, and a note taker. The salesperson get to act as a salesperson. Let's do A instead of the. Students get to act as a salesperson. Salesperson, customer. No, we don't need the A. Students get to act as salesperson, customer, and we just don't need A's. And note taker during each scenario with their classmates and teacher. Okay, that's good. Okay. What changes would you make for the next use of this lesson assessment? The first changes. The what? Okay, good. I'm just going to take this S out. First thing I make are the books used. First change I would make are the books used for my lessons. Barely referenced after the next changes. Oh, I see. The next change. Yeah, I don't know why we have these S's. The next change would be the inclusion of a book summary for reading in class. Would be inclusion of books have it read. The next change would be the inclusion of a book summary before having it read in class and more of a connection with the worksheet assignments. Since the same work checklist is used for assessments 1 and 2, I would also change the grading criteria by ensuring each student is graded according to their role during note presentation. Okay. All right. Now what? Okay, the reliability? Or no, where do I start? Right away. How well did the assessment? Okay. Need to move faster. Okay. My classmates' assessment measured the objectives they had stated in their assessment. Their assessment measures the students' academic progress. Only one student? Okay, but was it one? Is it a bunch of students or just one student? All right, I'm going to do this then. Their assessment measures students' academic progress, okay? I guess I do need to put that. Academic progress in terms of goals and improving their ability to speak a second language. Students in my classmates' assessment will receive feedback and scaffolding from their peers in two of? Maybe we should put an of in here. In 2 of the pair work activities. Is that right? Yeah? Okay. Fulfill the purpose that was initially defined. My classmates' assessment fulfilled, I'm sure you need an ED, fulfilled the purpose that was initially defined, since students will be greeted with the same rubrics. The activities mentioned in their assessments will help students improve their listening, speaking, vocabulary. Okay, fine. Rate how well. Okay. Reliability, right? My classmates' assessments. There's more than one classmate, right? It's just one. All right, so it should be apostrophe S. Okay. Okay, my classmates' assessments. Is it more than one assessment? Or one assessment? So should I have an S on that or no? On assessments? I'm going to take off the S. My classmates' assessment earned a 3 out of 5 for reliability since the directions were unclear for both test takers and administrators. It's also I also gave it a 5. I also only gave it a 3 out of 5 because when I saw example items in each assessment of the assessment, let's do this, because the example items in each section of the assessment were not very noticeable at first glance. I had to look over the assessment a few times to notice the examples within the directions in each section. Each item in my classmates, only one, right? One classmate? Apostrophe S. If it was more than one, you'd have the S after the apostrophe after the S. Each item in my classmates' assessment measured, I think you're doing past tense. Yeah. Each item in my classmates' assessment measured a specified objective. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Specific. Each item in my classmates' assessment measured a specific objective. We don't want that is. We're going to get rid of it. Measure a specific objective written in clear and simple language. It. What's the it? The assessment clearly stated? Okay. The assessment was clearly stated? Okay, the assessment was clearly stated in the scoring section in there, we don't need this, in part 3 of the assessment. Okay, the assessment was clearly stated in the scoring section in part 3. Okay, the difficulty of each item is appropriate for my classmates, only one. Do you get the difference? If you have one, it's before the S, one classmate. If you have more than one, it's after the S, okay? So you tell me you're just dealing with one classmate here. Okay, the difficulty of each item is appropriate for my classmates' assessment because it's about activities students can do on the weekend, traveling to places and traveling, because it's about activities students can do on the weekend, traveling to places, travels to places, maybe travels to different places and recommendations. Okay. Do you want to say recommendations about what? Okay. 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 Hopefully that's all right. It's about activities, travels. Okay. Travels, activities. Okay. Activities students can do on the weekend, travels to different places, and recommendations about places to visit. Get rid of that. Okay. My classmates' assessment. My classmates' assessments is a sufficient length to measure vocabulary, writing, listening, and speaking skills. Okay. My classmates, you're going to kill me with these apostrophes. Hopefully I did it right. My classmates' assessment includes the time for the test, which is 30 minutes. The time for the test. The time test takes, okay. Is the time the test takes, comma, 30 minutes. My classmates' assessment includes the time the test takes, 30 minutes. No, the time includes the time the test takes to finish, which is 30 minutes. There we go. My classmates' assessment includes the time the test takes to finish, which is 30 minutes. There we go. We got it. Students will be given the trip planning worksheet and the vocabulary list according to my classmates' assessment in part 4. The open-ended items in my classmates' assessment are graded with a... Got it. Oh, what's up here? Nope, nothing. Good. Students. Okay. Is this the last time I'm seeing this? When's this due? Hello? Mindy? Mandy? Are you gone? I'll keep going. Are you there? Okay. When is this the last time I'm seeing this, or do I see it again on Wednesday? Okay. You know, if I'm gonna get done. Okay, because we're almost out of time. Content validity. My classmates' assessment earned a 5 out of 5 for content validity because their assessment measures what it is supposed to measure with the activities in tasks 1 through 4. My classmates, come on, you can do this. My classmates' assessment avoids irrelevant and contaminating variables, and they briefly explain what will happen during each task during the assessment. My classmates' assessment relies on empirical evidence because in each of the tasks in the assessment, my classmates' assessment relies on empirical evidence because in each of the tasks in their assessment, they had included skills like vocabulary, listening, speaking, and writing. Because in each of the tasks. Okay. These were the skills which students, I think it's R. These are the skills which students will be learning while doing, let's say, these tasks. The students' performance during my classmates, and it's more than one student, right? All right, that's fine. The students' performance during my classmates' assessment include the student's performance, oh shoot. The student's performance includes, that's right. The student's performance assessment includes a good representation of the test's objectives because the activities in my classmates' assessment can be done alone and in pairs. Can be done both alone and in pairs. The pair work activities, like my classmates said, one classmate said, or more than one classmate? Just one? Okay. The pair work activities, like my classmates said, need, okay, hold it. The pair work activities, I think it's need. The pair work activities need to be where both of the students agree, need to not need to be where. Pair work activities need to, okay, need to have both of the students agreeing Yeah, I hate that. Okay, forget it. I'm changing this. Require the pair work activities, like my classmate said, require that both of the students agree on the topic being discussed. My classmates' assessment. What's wrong here? I don't know. Too many S's. Okay. My classmates' assessment does offer useful, meaningful information about the test taker's ability. One test taker or more than one? Okay, then we got to do the opposite. Test takers, like that. My classmates' assessment does offer useful, meaningful information about the test taker's ability. So it's more than one ability, so we're going to make it plural. About the test taker's abilities, because students are able to use their writing, vocabulary, listening, and speaking skills during the test. That's fine. Wash back. My classmates, can't even tell you how much I hate this. This is this apostrophe thing. Keep messing it up. No, ma'am. Classmates' assessment earned a 2 out of 5 for washback because it looks like in their part 4, it looks like, let's get rid of that in, because it looks like their part 4 didn't include all the task items they included in part 3, comma. My classmates' assessment earned a 2 out of 5 for washback because it looks like their part 4 didn't include all the task items they had. I think we need had. Looks like their part 4 didn't include all the task items they had included in part 3, which made it kind of confusing for me. My classmates' apostrophe S assessment is designed to give relevant feedback according to the objectives being tested. It's kind of confusing since their assessment had included 2 types of scoring for their assessment. It's kind of assessment is designed to give relevant according to. It's kind of confusing since their assessment included 2 types of scoring. And I think you don't need this. In parts 3 and 4. Okay? In their part 3, in their part 3 assessment, let's do that. In part 3 of the, let's get rid of there. In part 3 of the assessment, it was scoring the 4 tasks. Oh, this is confusing. In part 3 of the assessment, maybe we can do this. In part 3 of the assessment, okay. Okay. Part 3 of the assessment, try it this way, scored 4 tasks with, no, let's do using a score. Is that right? Yeah. The assessment scored the 4 tasks using a score of 0 out of 5 points for a total of 20 points for the 4 tasks for the 4 tasks. We're going to get rid of the all together. Let's try that again. Part 3, the assessment scored the 4 tasks using a score of 0 out of 5 points for a total of 20 points for the 4 tasks together. The scoring for part 4, I think of, I hope. The scoring for part 4 of the assessment used a rubric. It seems that both of the scoring of the assessment, it seems that both that both of the assessments are supposed to be scored using rubrics for the assessment. Is that right? I deserve a medal for that one. That was hard. It seems that both of the assessments are supposed to be scored using rubrics for the assessment. The items mentioned in part 3, aren't included in, no, we don't need any of these. They're all going away. The items mentioned in part 3 aren't included in part 4 of the assessment, which is kind of confusing. The items mentioned, got that right. I don't see a pretest opportunity to review the subject matter in, I don't see a pretest opportunity to review the subject matter in, I would get rid of there. I don't see a pre-test opportunity in the assessment. That's what you want, in the assessment to review the subject matter. There we go. Is that right? I don't see a pretest opportunity in the assessment to review the subject. Yeah. I'm going to make this all one sentence. So, comma. But we don't want this comma now. I don't see a pretest opportunity in assessment to review the subject matter, comma, but I think it's because their topic is about activities you can do on the weekend, period. Capital. Students, what's wrong here? Students should already have an idea of what activities they like to do on the weekends and where they would like to travel in the future. The part about written feedback to students is briefly mentioned during the reporting results to students in part 3 of their assessment, okay? During reporting. The part about written feedback to students is briefly mentioned during I think I'd say the section. You can let me know if this is right. Is that right? Part about written feedback to students is briefly reporting to students. Okay, good. I'm not sure if they will include comments during the written feedback to their students. Who's they? The student? Okay, do we say that? If classmates? Let's say students. I have no idea who they is. Okay. Who comments during their written feedback to the students. Nope, that's not right. So I got students and students, something's wrong. Who's making the comments? So one person? Okay. I'm not sure if my classmate, is that right? I'm not sure if my classmate will include comments during their written feedback, okay, to their students, right? Okay. The part about returning the test to students isn't really mentioned in their assessment. Let's make this all one sentence, comma, but, no comma now. The part about returning the test to students isn't really mentioned in their assessment, but I did see how they are willing to help students during this, how they are willing to help students during the assessment if if their students have questions about language or planning challenges. Okay. All right, let's stop there because I'm not going to get done. Okay. So just remember where we are. Is this all you have to write or do you have more to write? All right, so this is all we have to go over. Yeah? Okay. All right. All right, so we'll finish this on, that should be it. That should be easy on Wednesday. Okay? All right, are you coming in Wednesday or are you going to be online? All right, so I'll see you then. All right, dear. See you later. Bye.